Hey everyone, hope you're safe and healthy. Getting through this unusual time that's going on, especially my musician friends. I know it's been very frustrating for me to not be able to see my musical brothers and play together, play gigs, do rehearsals, write music, you name it. But I've been trying to keep at it as best I can under the circumstances, and I thought I would try something different with this. I actually posted on Facebook a couple weeks ago to a number of musician friends, hey, if anyone has songs that they want drums recorded for, I have a studio at my house, and it's a good way to pass the time and still be creative. It keeps me playing, and so I thought I would step way outside my comfort zone and try a little video project, kind of going behind the scenes or pulling back the curtain, if you will, and showing you how that happens. What my process is, and obviously different drummers have different processes depending on the media you're starting with. It might be completely different, but the song that I'm going to detail is a song I'm working on with Jason Yoder called Refrain. I talked to Jason and he was gracious enough to say, yeah, let's do that, and because obviously once I release this, that song is going to be out in the world, and it hasn't been up to this point. So before we get into that, I just kind of want to give you a little tour of my workspace. I'm switching to my cell phone now so I can have some mobility and give everyone a quick tour of my workspace. I apologize for the possibly shaky camera work. This is my control room. Everything in this room is fully patchable from one point to another through this patch bay. My primary monitors are Event 2020 near fields. My primary console is a Behringer Eurodesk 24 channel 8 bus, and I'm recording to an Alesis HD24 hard disk unit. We'll now step back through to the playing room. The playing room is actually an old 50s bomb shelter that I converted into a good recording space. Here we are. You'll notice that I'm starting with my drum mics with a large diaphragm condenser about 6 to 8 feet away, depending on phase and how that works out, along with some overheads and then close mics on each drum. Also, I will actually build the drum mix starting with the room mic and then fill in everything else as needed. So now that you've seen physically what I have going on around here, I'll talk a little bit about the process that I go through. Jason and I have been sharing files back and forth via Google Drive. I will preface this by saying Refrain is Jason's song. He has written it entirely start to finish. The only part I'm responsible for is the drums, but it was a song that I really, really dug. And he was, very hip to the idea of having me lay down drums for it. So the starting point is Jason shared the song with me with basically every instrument done except the drums. So I received a file from Jason via Google Drive, and it's really just the song minus drums. And various parts to it. That's kind of the beginning, and then heavier part, guitar solo, etc. And depending how folks record, how musicians record, sometimes there's a click track that goes along with that. Sometimes there's not. In Jason's case, he has a very good sense of timing, so there is no click. But that also means that, there's slight ebbs and flows in the tempo. So the first thing that I do when I get a song like this is I will pull it into my hard disk unit, and I will create a click for it. Now, if it was originally recorded to a click and you know what the BPM is, you can do that via software, and it makes it relatively easy. In this situation, since it was not recorded to a click, the odds of the timing being 100% perfect on it are almost non-existent. So I do it in a really, really old school way. I throw on a pair of headphones, sit in front of a microphone, and literally just grab a pair of sticks and click along to the song. And that ends up with, I add that to the existing audio that I got from him. And so now when I go in to record the drums, I have something to play along with. And I just do this click through the entire song. It's not a very glamorous part of the process, but it makes my job easier when I'm sitting behind a kit that I don't have to play along with any, kind of syncopated rhythms or worry about that. I have a constant meter to play to. And then I will take this, I will go in the studio, I will sit down, I will write the drums, I will rehearse the drums, and get to the point eventually where I'm ready to record them. And that's the point that I'm at right now, so we're going to hop into the studio and see that process happen. Okay, so the drums are tracked, and actually the audio that y'all heard while I was playing was actually what we call a rough mix of the actual song, because I wanted you to have the context of what I was hearing in the headphones, playing along with Jason. I have removed the click from that, and now we're actually going to do a rough mix of the song in general. So this is the process that I did to hear the audio that you heard while you were watching me play. So we now have Jason's tracks on my HD24 as well as my drum tracks. So I'm going to click play on that, and we're going to start with Jason, because obviously we're kind of building this around him because his parts are relatively mixed already. Not that he can't adjust that if he wants to. And no drums at this point, but so this is my channel for the room mic. I mentioned I'm going to start building this mix off of the room. So that's the first thing we're going to hear. Okay. Then from there, I'm going to bring the overheads in a little bit, kind of give us a stereo perspective and brighten it up a little bit. And then because this is a cross stick and not an actual hit, it's a little bit quiet, so I'm going to bring the snare mic up. And then we're going to little close mic on the kick to thicken it up a little bit. Okay. And then we're just going to bring up the toms somewhere right around there. So I'm going to do a rough mix of this and kind of get the drum perspective where it needs to be, as far as like the drums sounding like they fit with the song. I'm going to pull that snare drum mic down now that I switched from a cross stick to a hit. And then once I'm done with this, what I will do is I will then create a mix down of this onto the computer minus Jason's tracks. So I'm going to send him just the drums, and he will import that into his software on his end and create the finished product. And obviously if anything's wrong with my mix, you know, he needs a little more kick drum or he needs a little whatever, he can come back to me and I can tweak accordingly. If we wanted to, I could actually send him an individual file for every single microphone that I had on the drums, but to make his life a little bit easier and, you know, have him not have to deal with all of that and starting from scratch with the drum mix, I'm just going to send him a stereo file of the drums. And then he will take that, he will incorporate it into his software, he'll create the final mix, and that's how we do it. And so that's the kind of stuff that I've been doing to keep myself playing during quarantine. Hopefully you thought this was a little bit cool or a little bit insightful or whatever. I'm curious to see what people think, so hit me up on Facebook or comment on the video. And yeah, that's what's going on. So it's a fun little project, and hopefully you dug it. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon.